I mentioned this one a dozen times already, but in case you didn't get caught up with the update, see at the Annapurna Interactive Showcase we finally got our first look at The Lost Wilds official gameplay. This is dinosaur survival horror and a first-person shooter. Lost Wild was initially just the work of a small team, but due to its premise and a few other things, is now into a full development plan by Annapurna Interactive as a solo/co-op multiplayer. Check it out, this game is releasing in 2024 for PCs only. Next up we have Rooted. Mentioned this one a month ago last. This is a survival almost clone off of the Last of Us games, albeit using Unreal Engine 5 but still in its very early stages of development. This game is said to be coming out in about a year from now. Once released, it'll support co-op play, a day and night cycle, season shift, and a lot of other things. In terms of story, however, we're still anticipating a trailer. Formerly announced to be coming out March this year and now delayed to November 10. We've got here at number 3, once again the day before, the critically acclaimed open world survival multiplayer shooter, which for technical reasons and a few other engine adjustments, using Unreal Engine 5 apparently, is now postponed to later this year, apparently having a more focused single player campaign to go with it. Anyway, take a look. In case you missed it, we got a new trailer for it too. At number 4, we have from earlier this year, once again, Instinction. Instinction is a Tomb Raider-inspired dinosaur survival sort of sim I've been led to believe has been in the making since 2020. Here's another trailer they released for it, and that it's coming to PCs in both generation of consoles, either by the end of 2024 or early 2025.
I found them. After all this death, if you had the chance to do it all again,
an achievement comparable at best to the conquest of space.
Coming up behind that, we have Heart of Chernobyl. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 has been one of the oldest reveals in the gaming industry, guys, and at the moment, the #1 most anticipated survival shooter in the making. We've heard this game's either releasing at its best case scenario by the end of 2023, if not early next year. If you are new here, however, S.T.A.L.K.E.R is a stealth open world survival and technically the most realistic game in its own genre.
The zone, in our image, after our likeness. My men are still lying out there, and I can't even bury them.
Died in an anomaly, shot by loners, found with a stone around his neck, thrown off a cliff, torn apart by dogs.
Coming from the same developers, publishers of Repo Man, the upcoming fantasy cyberpunk game. At number 6, we have Primitive, the company's other upcoming game, about a survival open world action adventure. It's in ancient times where you're dealing with mammoths, Cro-Magnons, not dinosaurs however, but prehistoric caveman lifestyle. Primitive's in making for a year now and said to be coming out for PCs only. Number 7, we have Ark 2. In case you've been waiting for some good news, this game went on and received a release window of 2025, or at its earliest, late 2024. I don't know why, but to accompany the news, we got some new stuff. This game, as it formerly was premised, is coming to the Xbox Series and PCs only, as a Souls-like open world survival, and it's shaping up to be a substantially different game than its predecessor, Survival Evolved.
In your veins guide you, for you shall have nothing else to survive.
Announced last through IGN. At number 8, we've got here a new game called Enshrouded, from the same developers of Portal Light. This game is a survival, crafting, and action RPG set within a sprawling voxel-based continent, so it's described by its developers, where you journey on mountains and deserts of an open world, free to choose your path and shape your own story. Take a look, this game's set to be coming to PCs only in the third quarter of 2023.
To the staff, the bow, the shield, and the blade. For in the fog, weakness is a feast for the mighty. Cast yourself into the rude beauty of our world. Unlock her secrets. Shape the earth. Dive into the shroud. Seek treasures and ancient wisdom. Build, not for yourself, for you are not alone. There there are others waiting for you to raise a village or a kingdom.
Moving on, it is Blind Descent, a multiplayer open-world survival 4-player co-op that's set on the planet Mars that is also 50 years into the future, where it's you and a few other people stuck in some sort of underground cave and basically trying to make your way up to survive on through the surface. Just here. Blind Descent's been in the making for over 2 years now and said to be coming out for PCs really soon. Number 10. From November last year, it's been a while since we've had this one in the list. We've got here Under a Rock, a totally indie Unreal Engine project setting on Steam, available to be wishlisted only, and described by developers as a procedurally open-world survival craft game for 1 to 10 players, where you mainly explore primitive caves with procedurally generated elements and crafting. Check it out, this game's said to be coming to PCs and the next generation of consoles only, sometime later this year, hopefully. Moving on, we've got here once again S.T.A.L.K.E.R. This is technically one of the, if not the most violent and longest awaited indie first-person horror shooter, and one we've been looking forward to these past few years, which is, believe it or not, still we get the question, is this a real game or just a concept? Well, the answer is obviously yes. 99%, maybe 100%, I don't know. It's being developed by a real team who even have a Kickstarter campaign in addition to a Patreon. This is in-game footage, indeed, but a release date for it, though, is still yet to be announced.
You there, Mike? I made my way in. Found some sort of administrative room. It's a total mess here.
Shit. They were really rushing out of there, weren't they? All right. Head to the dome. It might be your only way down.
I love the smell of the forest in the morning.
Number 12, we have Outbreak Island. This is coming from the same publishers of Breathedge. Their new game here is a survival, first-person, detective-inspired game where you're supposed to investigate an island and stay alive at any cost using only a camera, just like Outlast, where after some sort of experiment gone wrong, this island's population is just driven into mindless whatever these are. Check it out, this game is partially an open world and there's hints of zombies in it.
Myself. I have to improvise, but it always turns out finger-licking good. Afterwards, I drive to work. You have no idea how wonderful life is without traffic jams. There, I do my routine stuff. Trying my best not to get into any trouble. Finally, I'm home. You know, this is the only place where I truly feel safe. Sometimes I overdo it a bit, and then I need a small repair on myself. My insurance is expired, but the service here is not the best either. The day...
For Solis at number 13, one of the most anticipated horror games on the horizon, is now finally coming over to PCs and the PlayStation 5 in fall 2023. We just got word, in addition to a new gameplay trailer, showcasing the engine, the psychological aspects of this game, and this space horror it promised earlier. For Solis, in case you're new here, is a single-player, third-person thriller set on a far side of Mars that's never been discovered before.
careful. I think something is off here.
Just how many people are in Solis?
The system lists 6.
There's an incident here.
An incident? What kind of incident?
I don't know!
Well, what the hell is going on there?
Someone was down there with me. I'm heading back up to the surface level now.
You need to get out of there now!
4 years ago to this day, Sony came up with the announcement of a science fiction first-person shooter and a horror game called Quantum Error. This is a Dead Space inspired game in nature, albeit in first person, set in some distant future with cosmic horror components. Take a look. Quantum Error was aired maybe last time, December last year, with a world that is being rebuilt with Unreal Engine 5. Other than that, all we know is the game is coming to PCs and all of the consoles except Switch, maybe later this year. Number 15, it is Frostpunk 2. 11-bit studios earlier this year came out with the update that the game is in pretty good shape and remains a PC exclusive if you are new here. This is a sequel to the city-building survival strategy game that started life about 5 years ago. The sequel here has been in development for over 2 years now and said to be coming out technically, rumored, by the end of the year. Just keep it in mind.
Some say we abandoned God. But it is us, not them, who brought us this far. And those who make sacrifices today will reap the rewards of tomorrow.
And last but not least, from November last year, I believe, announced through Twitter in the beginning, we've got here Level 0. Level 0 is an asymmetrical survival horror PvP game where a team of scientists must repair an electrical malfunction or something on their spaceship after a very long journey while trying to come back on Earth, about like 20 years into the future, where the problem is that this malfunction is not this systematic error. You will see, this game is coming to all consoles except Switch by the end of the year.